Uja Seneb, life, liberty, prosperity. Yet another decree stolen from you and me. The ancestors of the Nile Valley left us other messages too, like let food be your medicine, and let your medicine be food.
Why is food and drugs under the same administration? They putting drugs in the food to keep money accumulating now. They like to call it additives and preservatives, slowly killing
Food.
Why is food and drugs under the same administration? They putting drugs in the food
And be food.
Why is food and drugs under the same administration? They putting drugs in the food. Why is food and drugs under the same administration? They putting drugs in the food to keep money accumulating now. They like to call it additives and preservatives, slowly killing everybody that purchase it. Can you pronounce what's on the back of the label? Then that shit we need to keep off our dinner table now. The food
We have come to accept certain things as reality. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the principles of my yacht is to separate truth from fantasy. I'm paraphrasing, all right? Somebody help me out.
That's right.
What's real from what's unreal.
That's right.
So we need to realize what is real and what ain't real. The objective tonight, as up here on the board, is to encourage us all, myself included, to become more knowledgeable and active, there's that word again, act, in the health and maintenance of our temples. In the 80s, there was this brother named Dr. Sadie that came on the scene. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Dr. Sadie's story. One of his famous sayings was, gorilla don't eat what the polar bear eat. And it was real simple, almost childlike, but it's very scientific at the same time.
Right.
Because he's talking about genetics, environment. We talk about Sheikh Diop's two-cradle theory a lot in our study class. Right. He talks about how the African grew up in a rich environment, lush. The European grew up in an environment that was unstable. It was cold. He didn't know where to find food. So these breed different characteristics in an organism.
Right.
The polar bear, as you can see in this picture, he wants some blood. He wanted raw. He a raw foodist too. He wants it raw and he wants it now. The gorilla, gorilla looks stronger than the polar bear to me. I don't know, I'm a little black biased. But the gorilla don't even know me. Tell me y'all knew that, right? Gorilla don't even know me. Gorilla eats off of shoots and berries.
Right.
It's his environment. It's his genetics. And did y'all know that gorillas and monkeys don't eat bananas? I'm just gonna throw that tidbit out there. Monkeys do not eat bananas.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
And if I'm telling you something you don't know, it's because your perception has been formed.
Uh-oh.
Only monkeys in captivity eat bananas.
Teach, bro.
Just like I said, Africans don't eat pork. Y'all be like, only Africans in captivity eat pork.
is the answer, damn. I'd be wrong if I didn't pass the info. Hormones in the food got you thinking like a nympho. Wonder why all these young girls so thick, like a baseball player. Steroids is it. They got it in the vegetables, the fruit, the meat, and all the fast food they be selling in the street. It's a war going on, and our diet must reflect it. We all got the power, we just gotta do.
Organic foods are foods that are produced, processed, and packaged without using chemicals. They have been accepted due to their perceived health benefits over conventional food. That's another funny statement I kept in there for the children. Over conventional food. See, they created a new reality. And that reality is your food comes in a box. Or something crinkly. Our food used to come from natural sources.
Right.
But we've been cut off from that. To the point where if it come off the street, it's non-conventional. Well, call me unconventional.
Right.
We've been socialized to eat what we eat.
Right.
We like what we like because our mama fed it to us, or because it was convenient in our neighborhood, because the people that we hang around eat it. So when we talk about, oh, I'd like to do that, I'd like to give that up, but my children, you know, the children, the babies, The babies ain't up to it like you are. You the one with the addiction. The baby will eat what you give it to eat and will learn to love it. So if we're talking about building better generations, what do we feed our babies? Let's not include them in our addictions.
The father of medicine.
Warning, side effects may include bloating of the brain cells, activation of dormant DNA, third eye vision, and subsequent loss of religion, propensity to use words like cracker, small hat. Please consult the metaphysician before ingesting. You keep trusting the enemy with your well-being, black man, black woman. What is it you're not seeing? Deaf, dumb, blind, and sick, all the while slaving to keep them rich. Wake up and read the label. Tell that cracker, keep them crumbs on his table.
Yes, but it's also a solid food prepared from pressed curd and milk, like you said. So I said, I want to know how to make some cheese. So I said, take a gallon of milk, heat it on the stove. Once the milk is warm enough, add rennet to let the milk coagulate. I said, what's rennet? Anybody know what rennet is? I didn't either. The inner lining of the fourth stomach of calves and other young ruminants. The inner lining of the fourth stomach. I said, what's a ruminant? Cattle, sheep, goat, deer, and giraffes. So here's a picture of the four stomachs of a ruminant. This one right here is what they use for the cheese. That's what it looked like. This little part right here. They cut it out and spread it. They add salt, put it on a sheet so it can dry out. And when it's dry, they cut it and put it in milk. And that's what makes it froth up, like you said, brother. Ready. So, real quick, I'll wrap it up.
Yo, they falsifying tests, so you'll believe you got the bug. Tax you monthly to keep you buying drugs. Try to pass natural remedies to your people in the slums. The FDA is suit up, come after you with guns. Medicinal mobsters, all about the funds. A country on drugs, keep the population dumb. We got the information, but what we gonna do? Die from mad cow or the avian flu? I try so hard to stay away from man-made. Wrong foods revert mentality back to slave. Fluoride in your water just to make you behave. Wrong food revert mentality back to slave. Black community filled up with stop, shop, and save. Wrong food revert mentality back to slave. We gotta grow our own food, agriculture's our trade. Wrong food revert mentality